All right. Hello, everyone. So this video is about the looping process call. Um, so looping process call is a palette within the cloud integration, right? Which you find within the when you create an iflow, right? So for the purpose of this demo, I've created iflow already, so that I can spend more time in explaining rather than creating in front of you. So looping process call enables you to loop, right, as the name suggests, to loop a local integration process. So local integration process is nothing but a modular unit within your iflow, right? It's just a modular unit, nothing else. For those who don't know what a local integration process unit is, you just if you are coming from a coding background, so it's like a method or a function module or a subroutine within your code, right? Now, there's often a need that you need to repeat a particular set of logic, and for that, in integration flow, you can use local integration process, and then using the looping process call, loop it over. Loop the local integration process over and over. Right. All right. That's about it. Now, let me walk you through the scenario that we have. So, I have a local SFTP client which is installed my on my desktop system, and then this is called the Rebex Tiny SFTP server. This is the URL from which you can download. I'll also share this. I've configured it to be connecting via password and the keys, right? But that's not the focus of this call. Just for the explanation of the scenarios, I am explaining it to you. So just to put it in a slightly better way, so I have a SFTP source, and in that I have multiple files. Let's say, you know, somewhere between 2 to 5, and I have to take it to the SFTP target. Simple. Now the only so this can be easily achieved by normal SFTP adapter, right? That must be a thought that is coming to your mind. Yes, you're right. But the scenario here is that the iflow is triggered by a HTTP S endpoint, through a scheduler. So if you don't know what is a enterprise scheduler, you can also take it as any third-party software, right? It is outside of the purview of CPI or cloud integration. Okay. For that, what we are using is we cannot then use a scheduler, right? Because scheduler has to be your um, trigger of the iflow, right? But that's not the case. We don't want to get it triggered by the SFTP adapter, right? So in that case, the other option that we have is to use a pole enrich. Pole enrich uses a SFTP adapter variant, okay, which has some restrictions when compares to the normal SFTP adapter, right? You don't see a scheduler here, and and that's the majority of it. And then you have the source and the processing, right? So what we have done here is, so we have taken a looping process call, and then this looping process call uses the local integration process within the iflow. Okay. Now, when you use a looping process call, there is a conditional expression which you can write in terms of XML conditional expression or non-XML. Usually, what I've used and what we normally see is non-XML expression, and because we can use the properties there. So to control the loop of the looping process call, I have created a property called continue loop, and here in this content modifier, I've created this and I've set it to true as a default. After that, whatever this local process wants to control it between within the local process, then we'll control it based on the condition that we have or the scenario that we have. And then the maximum number of iterations by default, if when you choose this, it comes as 100. I have, for the purpose of this, I don't want to waste a lot of loop counts either, even though we can do it because we can always control it by conditional expression. But just for a safer side, I've taken it as a 10 number of iterations. And then actions when max iterations reached is either you can choose end loop or a through exceptions. So in case you have a scenario where you want to throw an exception, if the loop count is going out of the bounds, yeah, it's like an endless loop and the condition is always getting satisfied. So, and then you want to throw an exception. So it depends on the scenario that we have, right? Okay. So clear enough. So here we created the loop property, which will control the loop count. And then in the looping process call, we have set that as a conditional expression. Now coming to the local process, as I explained, using the pole enrich SFTP variant adapter, I've set here the directory, source directory, the source file name, then the source SFTP address along with the port. Then as I told you, right, I've configured in on my desktop, and that is connected via cloud connector. So in that case, if it's not um, something which is on the internet and it's collected by cloud connector or any other scenario which is on-prem, the proxy type will be on-prem in that case. And then location ID is something which we set in the cloud connector to uniquely identify um, the location, right? And then the authentication key I've used is a public key, right? So then this is the username of the SFTP server, and private key alias is the private key which we have the public key of which has been shared with the third party, so that they can import in their own server to be able to allow us to hit them, right? And then after reading the file, we will be deleting the file. So yeah, that's it. Then the target is this. We are sending the target to a target folder, and yeah, that's it. Okay. Then this is the default route, right? So by default, the it will just read and deliver the file, read and deliver the file. And here, in order to control the loop count, what I've done is basically if the poll enrich message found is false and the loop count is greater than 0, so it will just end the loop. It will, what it'll do, how it will end the loop is basically, remember that continue loop property that we have created. In this content modifier, we are setting the loop to false so that we tell the local integration process here that, boss, that's it, your job is done, let's stop the loop now because there are no more files to read from the source, right? Though the count is 10, whenever this condition gets satisfied, it will just end the loop here. There will be no more loop counts. Okay, hope this is clear. Let me now show you with the run. Before that, let me place some files. How many are there? There are 6 files. Let me place in my source and demos folder. All right. Let me hit the. So in the Postman, I've taken this URL and obviously configured the rest of the stuff. Okay, it's taking a while. Good part is that the trace is already on, so yeah, we will be able to look to it in detail. Yeah, I got success now. See, there were 6 files, all 6 are gone now. And if I check the target, yeah, 2139. So yeah, 6 files, the same file names which were placed are here now. Okay, so these are the timestamps. If you see, this is not matching with the 2139, so that also tells us that these files are the same files that were placed earlier. All right, so let me show you the trace of it. The best way to understand any iflow is looking at its trace, the wonderful feature given by the cloud integration. This box right here, if some of you don't know, and these things also are a part of the CPI helper plugin. The CPI helper plugin is a free plugin for Google Chrome, so there's no installation needed. Only the installation is needed on the Chrome itself. That's it, right? And then you can use with any of the tenants, whether it's client tenant or your personal tenant, right? Because it's not really related to what tenant you are using, as long as it is cloud integration. All right, so let's see. So looping process call, the continue loop here will be true. And then if I look at after Poland rich Steph, right, it has read the first file, though these are all numbers, but we'll try to identify them uniquely. Then second router, see the file name has changed, 921 in the end, and then third, 925. Also, let me parallelly show you, this is a third file, right? Continue loop is constantly coming as true. Because it has not yet reached here, right? It is going here so far. So 4, then 5, 46, and then 6. Okay. Now after 6, see the notice the difference here, right? So if I come here, camel file name is star. When it is star, it means it was not able to read a new file, right? If you go into here properties, and if you check SAP poll enrich message found, it will be false in this case. right? And then remember our condition right here. We're checking here if this is false and the loop count is greater than 0. So this is false and loop count 6, right? So this is sixth loop count. Now, what this content modifier will do here is set the continue loop to false. Let me show you here. See, and then this ends here. That's it. All right. So this is a fairly quick one where I just wanted to explain you how looping process call works. Hope this was helpful. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you very much.